Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam. Tonight we are in Bath Beach, Brooklyn. We're going to be going over how the Colombo War started, skimming past that, and then going into one of the more festive Colombo War's murders. It's a little bit Christmas themed. I know this video is coming out after Christmas, but we can still be in the spirit, right? Right now that crazy storm is here, so it's like 10 degrees outside. That's why I'm dressed like this. Happened right outside a guy's house. You may already know the story, but I'm going to give you all the details that are out there. So let's flip this around and get into it. All right, the address that we're going to is 310 Bay 11th Street in Brooklyn. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at mooneydashcam. I post them there pretty much every single day. Any crime scene photos that can't go on YouTube end up on the Instagram completely uncensored. There are crime scene photos in this video, so check out the Instagram right now. Also, don't forget to leave suggestions for future videos in the comments. I very much appreciate that. Get a lot of inspiration that way. And hit the notification bell so you guys can see exactly when I post a new video. Okay. Let's go over how the Colombo War started and give some brief details on that. We'll go right into the murder. The Colombo War started by Carmine the Snake Persico, the Colombo boss, getting sentenced to 100 years in 1987. Pretty much, you know, a death sentence. But he was sentenced to 100 years. And his son, little Alley Boy, got 12 years. Now, trying to maintain power, Carmine appoints his brother, Alley Boy, as the acting boss. But then Alley Boy gets arrested for loan sharking and he disappears. So we can't rely on that anymore. So Carmine puts together a committee of 3 people, one of those people being Vic Orena. So those 3 guys run all the decisions, pretty much acting as the boss between the 3 of them. And they were supposed to do that until little Alley Boy got out of prison. Then Vic Orena ended up kind of stepping up, and he was actually named captain during this time, and he was making millions and millions of dollars for Carmine Persico. So Carmine recognized that. Now Carmine's doing all of this in prison. I'm going to put a picture of him in prison. So he actually looks pretty funny when he's not in a suit. He's an odd looking guy to begin with, but he looks even crazier when he's not in a suit. So then in 1988, Carmine gets rid of the committee and makes Vic Orena the sole acting boss. And he doesn't just make him a regular acting boss. This was very rare that he gave him the ability to induct new members into the Colombo family. An unusual amount of power for an acting boss. But then Vic Orena got tired of taking orders from Carmine, and he enjoyed being the boss, and he didn't want to give it over to little Alley Boy when he got out of prison, so he started making moves to become the boss. Orena tells a guy to get votes between everyone in the family of who they want to be boss, Orena or Persico, and that guy was loyal to Persico, so instead of doing that, because he knew if he did do it, Persico would have him killed. So he went straight to Persico in prison, Carmine Persico, and told him exactly what Orena was doing. So then Carmine Persico has a hit crew sent to Vic Orena's house on June 20th, 1991. But Vic spotted them and he took off. And that's what kicked off the war between the Persico faction and the Orena faction. Greg Scarpa soon took lead in the war for the Persico faction, and even though they were very outnumbered, Greg was dying from AIDS and he was a murderous psychopath at the time. They had more shooters in the Persico faction than the Orena faction, even though the Orena faction had more members. You guys may have already heard this, but Greg Scarpa claimed he stopped counting his kills at 50 people. So this was not a guy to be messed with at all. I didn't mention it before, but this is during that crazy storm, so it's about 10 degrees out with like 50-mile-an-hour winds right now. So that is why I'm dressed in this very warm clothing. So the crew that Greg put together was Greg Scarpa himself, Larry Mazza, who he pretty much took under his wing. He actually ended up like letting him screw around with his wife. It was kind of a weird situation with them too. But either way, and Mazza's childhood friend, Jimmy Del Mastro. So it was a crew of 3, and in Larry's words, for 8 months, that's all we did. Wake up and go looking for people to kill. Now, Greg Scarpa also had the advantage because he would ask his FBI handler for help, and he would get locations on where these guys were, which no one at the time knew that he was cooperating, but obviously he used that to his advantage. So now, on December 6th, 1991, their kill team was driving around the neighborhood down Bath Avenue, past all the enemy social clubs, looking for someone to kill, when they spot 30-year-old Vinny Fasaros' car, a black Lincoln Continental. They spin around the block and they spot him in his driveway, hanging Christmas decorations on his garage door. Some things say he was on a ladder, some say they weren't on a ladder. We're gonna go with that he was on a ladder. It makes it more interesting. Vinny's nickname was Vinny Venus, since he worked at a mob-connected Venus diner at 9316 4th Avenue as a night manager. Now, it's kind of mob rules that you're not supposed to kill anybody at their house. But they didn't really care, and they also had the little bit of gray area that he wasn't in his house, he was in his driveway. Because stuff like that has happened before. So Greg pulls up and says, "Don't even get out." Pulling down the block now. We'll be outside the house in a second here. So he says, "Don't even get out." He rolled down the window, aiming his army type rifle. It was an M52. I'll put a picture of what that looks like. And he fires one shot from the street and hits him right behind the ear. This is the address right here to the left. We'll hop out. So before we even hop out, this right here where that Honda CR-V is the house, and that's the garage door he was in front of. So you can imagine Greg rolls down the window, fires a shot, and he, in Larry Mazza's words, drops like a sack of potatoes. So this is the block this all went down on. There's actually some nice Christmas lights on here. Say hello to the truck, of course. Give it the respect it deserves. Shout out to the guy that recognized me right as I was filming this video, right before I started. He was very nice. Okay, so here it is. Now, I don't know if you can see. I'm going to walk up to this garage door real quick. Do you see the shields on the garage door? Out of the driveway. It's the same garage door as when he was there. You'll see on Instagram. Actually, I'll put them on here. It'll be censored. But you'll see it's the same exact garage door that he was dead in front of, with his Lincoln Continental in the driveway. Let's walk up and down the block for a second here. So, after he dropped like a sack of potatoes, Larry Mazza said he never even saw them coming. When he was down, he shot 2 more times, one in his neck and one in his body, to really make sure that he was killed. And that was the 3rd Colombo killed that week. Vinny's mother and grandmother lived inside the house. Like I said, he was found dead right by his car. Actually a very pretty block. So one last look right here, top of the truck. What do you think? I wasn't going to do a cold weather outfit check? What do you think this is? So when the Colombo War was all said and done, 123 Colombos were arrested, 10 dead, 14 wounded, and over 100 guns were seized. I'm going to do more videos about the Colombo War. There were a lot of casualties that shouldn't have been. A couple of mistaken identity cases, a couple of people that were with people that shouldn't have got shot. I believe someone got hit by a car, by people running away from getting shot. So, very crazy situation along those, it was 8 months of the war. So I'll be covering more of that. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.